guests to talk about our new program. The teacher of our program is Carol Andrieza, who is currently a teacher here at Valleyview. If you've not had her, she will be the honors biology teacher. The supervisor from our high school district is Kevin Doyle, and he is here to answer questions from the high school position. Our superintendent, Steve Forte, and principal Ian Tosca, and vice principal Seth Berman. So we have a lot of people here to answer.
Very happy to see the turnout. I saw one person walking, I'm like, oh, one person. It's great that we have so many people interested in finding out about this great opportunity. Thank you.
I am very happy to see you here today. We have been planning this since September, looking at if this program was possible to run at a middle school level, and then working out all of the program details with the high school district. We're now able to present the offering to you in a position to start having students apply for the program. What we're looking at offering is the Biology 1 Honors course, the same course that you would have at the high school freshman level, but at the 8th grade level. And the reason we decided to even look at this possibility was for students who were thinking about taking a rigorous course of science or math in the high school, where they might be looking at the math and science magnet program, the academy, maybe the international baccalaureate, maybe just in general education they want to take several AP courses and want to take more than 3 years of science. This course is not designed to, as a credit course for the high school. Students will be required to take 3 full years of science. In addition, one of those courses has to be a biology course, whether it's AP biology or anatomy and physiology, because they have to take the state level New Jersey biology competency test, and that will not be given at a middle school level. So this course is really for those students who are thinking about that rigorous track of science in the high school. If that's not where your student is going, not taking this course does not set them up for being behind, because it really is only for those students who are looking at that particular route. Otherwise, it could be a race to nowhere. If you took it here and then you weren't planning on taking more science in high school, then they end up taking 3 more courses, and if it's not what they're really interested in, then they're taking a different course than they had planned. So really consider whether or not this is the course for your student, because that's what their future goals are. It is not designed to be an advanced 8th grade course. It really is the high school course, and we're going to even show you the textbook, which is the college level textbook. So that's kind of why we decided to offer the program. You'll see in the handout that there are a few things to consider with the program. First of all, that because of the age and the timing, we're going to offer a little more time per week of the biology class. So students who are eligible for the course will be giving up 3 of their recesses to extend their science lab. So their 20-minute part, they'll still have their 20-minute lunch, but 20 minutes of their recess 3 days a week would be the extended science lab. So you definitely want to talk to your students about that if they're interested. The curriculum will be the high school curriculum, and Mrs. Andrieza is working with the high school to make sure that we have all of the 8th grade topics, because it is an integrated 8th grade program. It's not just life science, and the entire year of the biology, because we have to meet all of those standards at the same pace that the high school offers it. So we are doing the same curriculum as the high school. It's just that you won't get high school credit for taking the course. Successfully completing the course, and at the end of the course passing that final, the same final that would be at a high school level, would allow them to place out of Biology 1, and allows them to go into different courses, whether it's AP biology or chemistry or the physics is on there. It depends which program your student is looking at taking, because that will determine their coursework for the next 4 years. So our students who are interested in applying for the course will sign up. The last page of the information packet is an application. You can see it's very short. All we need to know is their name and what math they will be in next year. They must be in at least Algebra 1, because otherwise their math level will not correlate or correspond correctly with the biology. They need to be in at least Algebra 1 or geometry to take this course. If they are, then they would turn in the application form by May 20th. On May 21st, Mrs. Andrieza will be offering the placement exam after school. So it will not be longer than the after-school bus, so the students can stay here on, I think that's Thursday, May 21st, take the assessment, and then we'll score it and let you know by June, I put on the 10th, if your student is eligible to be in that program. I want to talk about a little bit about the book.
So the book that they're using, we're using the same book that the high school would use for Honors Biology 1. And we were sharing a lot of resources. I'm in contact with the Honors Biology teacher over at Hills through the Magnet program. She has been giving me a lot of information, ideas for labs, activities, so we'd be doing a lot of the same activities that a student from here would be doing when they take Honors Biology. This is a advanced level book. This is a college level. One of our science teachers, when she saw it, she said, oh, that was mine when I was in biology in college. So they have to have a very strong reading comprehension. Part of the test that they're going to take is going to involve a reading passage from here and interpreting it, being able to analyze so that I could see if they understand an advanced level reading. So if you want to pass that around and take a look.
So while that's going around, I'll go over where this course would lead. So if you look about halfway down where it starts to number the types of tracks that your student might be interested in, if they were to take this course and they're thinking of doing just the general education track, it states what the student would have to do. If they were successful, they were placed out of the Biology 1, then they would take Chemistry 1 as a freshman or AP Biology, Physics 1 as a sophomore. So that kind of lays out what your student would do for the next few years. Yeah, they have to still take 3 additional science courses in the high school to graduate. Another option is the Math and Science Magnet program, and then they would take Chemistry 1 as a freshman, and then again AP Biology or AP Physics and/or as a sophomore. You might be doubling up. On the back of that page, the third option is the International Baccalaureate program, which would take Chemistry 1 as a freshman and then AP Biology and Physics as a sophomore. And then finally, the Science Academy for Math, Science, and Engineering. The student would take AP Physics as a freshman and then Academy Chemistry as a sophomore and AP Biology as a junior. So it kind of gives you an idea. You might not have decided now because your student is in 7th grade, but taking this course is they're already thinking about possibly taking one of these science tracks in high school. We're open for some questions, or Kevin, would you like to say anything?
Sure, I'd be glad to. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I apologize for being a little late. Students come to my office, can get rid of them. This is a very ambitious program, and I say ambitious in a good way. Valleyview was seen, and there's a lot of motivated kids who are doing really well in their math programs, and they wanted to extend to the science programs. And so Dr. Cullis and myself sat down and got through a lot of the administrative red tape, and then Mrs. Andriaza and our biology honors teacher, Mrs. Jennifer McGrath, sat down and did a tremendous amount of work to make sure that this program could happen and be in the best interest of our kids. And the one thing I want to mention, in addition to being talented, students really need to be motivated. This is not a program for the kid who skates by and gets good grades, because this would be the wake-up call class. So make sure that you're willing to understand that it doesn't just take a tremendous amount of talent at the intellectual level, it also takes a tremendous amount of motivation, and part of that motivation means consistency. Because you can't keep blowing off homework here and there because you're busy, because everything just keeps building and building and building on each other. And I know that I've seen the work that the teachers have done, and this class is really looking like a high school class. Not to have a biology open there. It's really looking like a high school class. So we're very excited about it. We think this is a great direction for the relationship between Morris Hills and Valleyview. And it's a great direction for your students because it's really going to get them a step up in some of our most rigorous programs. And if they choose not to do one of our most rigorous programs, for whatever reason, that's going to give them a step up in high school and allow them to take more courses that they want to take. And to us, we think that's just a positive for everything. So if you do have any questions after I leave today, my contact information is easy to get. Don't hesitate to contact me.
Please, let's open for any questions that you have for any of us.
About these tracks and
Sure.
at the high school level, because obviously that's what a lot of them are looking long term.
Absolutely.
Really what's the difference, and do they have to decide going in as freshmen and then that's it? That's the only track they're on, or do they can't change or switch, or?
I think when we use tracks today, it's different than when we used tracks even 5 years ago or 10 years ago. you know, if a kid comes in completing biology 1 honors already and jumps through all the hoops and gets the credits and passes all the tests, etc., they can come in and they have certain options. They can start with sophomore year. We have over 27 different science classes. You know, where they go, once they walk in and take that second course, because they've already completed biology, could lead them in all 27 classes. They can take pretty much anything that we offer there, provided that they meet all the prerequisites and co-requisites. Kids who take biology honors before they even get to high school and we give them credit for are going to be ahead of everybody else in getting those prerequisites and co-requisites stuff. So it really opens a lot more doors. As freshmen, predominantly, we anticipate most of them taking either chemistry honors or AP biology when they come in. So either they're going to be a year ahead of everyone in the traditional honors track, or they're going to be 2 years ahead of everyone in the traditional AP track. With that said, we would probably encourage more people to take the chemistry honors first, just because of what the AP biology exam looks like these days. And we have some talented sophomores in our programs taking it now. We're getting some data back on how well they're doing. So I don't want to throw a whole bunch of freshmen into that mix too, without us having a really good firm background on how our sophomores go.
But actually, they go into high school, do they need to decide, oh, I'm gonna do the math and science program and get into that? And they decide, you know what, no, that's not for me. Can I switch to the Science Academy, or they cannot switch?
So the Academy for Math, Science, and Engineering is run by VOTEC. It's housed at Morse Hills, taught by Morse Hills teachers. You have to be in that program the summer before between your 8th grade and 9th grade years, because there's a summer program that you have to complete as part of that program. If you miss that summer program, you can't reapply into that. If you were in a different program, general education, IB, or the academy, and you chose, yeah, that's not for me, but I want to try to get into magnet school, if there's an opening, you can apply for it up to the beginning of your sophomore year. If you want to get into the IB program, you could apply to that up to the beginning of your junior year. Because the specific classes for magnet start your sophomore year. Specific classes for IB start your junior year, but the specific classes for the academy, they start the summer before your freshman year. Sorry, I misinterpreted that first.
You're mentioning Morse Hills a lot, so I don't know, I don't have background in these special programs. They're all housed at Morse Hills?
The 2 science ones are housed in Morse Hills. The International Baccalaureate is housed at Morse Hills.
Okay.
And I work for the Morse Hills District, so I apologize. Both schools.
No, that's fine.
That's why Morse Hills keeps coming out.
If we're typically would be going to Knowles.
General education can go to either school.
Right.
General education, IB would have to go to Morse Knowles.
Okay.
The Academy for Math, Science, and Engineering has to go to Morse Hills. The magnet program for Math and Science has to go to Morse Hills.
Okay.
So yeah, no, if you end up in the general program, that's the tract that you want to follow. Same courses, same curriculum, same final, quarterly exam, same everything. So, different colors.
How big is the magnet program?
Magnet program, as of today, has 126 students in it. 18 of them are graduating. Our freshman, sophomore, and junior classes are the first classes that have 2 sections, where seniors only have 1 section. We have 35 students as of today who are 8th graders who are going into the program next year. So it has grown a lot. It's based upon, so being that you're in district, if you qualify for the program through the admissions test, you get first, we have to fill up all the seats with people who want to go, who qualify from in-district first. So in-district people, students, parents, etc., have a leg up over the out-of-district parents, because we also are school choice. So then if any seats remain, we open to students outside of the district.
And the academy is still about 20.
26 each, the articulation agreement is 26 per year, so we have 104 students, and well, it's actually 102 now, but we have space for 104 students. And quite frankly, I don't know where we put anybody else. You know, we're pretty packed over there. Unless they want to build me a new building, which they built 7 years ago, so I forgot.
I have a question about math. I heard that there's a math program over the summer for 7th graders going into 8th grade for advanced math.
Well, in the summer, the high school district runs an Algebra 1 course. It's not necessarily designed for 7th graders in particular, but they do run an accelerated Algebra 1 course in the summer. For those students who are interested in doing that, the high school district asks us for recommendation, because there tend to be more older students in the program, not 7th graders. So if it's a 7th grader, they would want to know where that student is in our school. because you guys just missed the new program where we have the pre-algebra, algebra to geometry, that might be something you're interested in looking at, but it's a lot of information in a very short time, and that's one thing I would caution is that it's a full algebra course in a very short period of time. So that's a pretty intense program, and most of their summer taken up with that, but that is an option. And that, you apply for that through the high school district. It isn't a Denville school district initiative at all. We're not involved except for if someone applies, then they will ask us for the recommendations.
So then what would they do in 8th grade if they did that?
Geometry. We
Would there be
currently
a-
offer Algebra 1 and Geometry 1 in 8th grade. This year's 6th grade will be the first group that will have Algebra 1 at Valleyview as a 7th grader option. And then Geometry 1 as an 8th grader in Valleyview. We currently
Okay, I don't know if I'm
only have-
understanding this. So my 7th grader will take Algebra 1 next year because she's in advanced math.
Correct,
And she
So-
won't get any geometry.
correct.
So she'd have to take geometry in 9th grade.
Yes, which is what most students do. Like right now, we have 5 students who are in geometry in the middle school.
So there's a class of 5 kids.
Well, this year, it is housed here, but in the past, we have sent the students up to the high school district, but the time schedules did not allow. But these students were already in that, had already prepared to take the geometry program.
And where do we get information on that?
If you're in the summer program or for
The summer.
here, the summer program, you would need to contact the high school district. Nisha.
So,
So
ready?
they-
973?
Oh, thanks.
973-664? 2293.
But is there information online, like the link
Yes,
to the course?
mhrd.org. You just have to navigate through to academics, and I believe it's summer enrichment program underneath the academics tab. I usually look at the magnet tab, so I don't remember exactly what it is. But if worse comes to worse, you can also email me and I'll send you the information.
Now, are the other districts that go into the high school taking geometry as well? Like are these 7th graders in their own realm, or is everyone sort of switched over at the same time that Valleyview did?
I do not know if I think it has been typical that 1 or 2 students here and there every year have been sent up to the high school, and probably the same from the other middle schools. It's the first time in a very long time that Denville has offered it in-house. I don't know, Kevin, you may know if the other schools are doing
I
it
think
in-house.
that Valleyview's kind of pushing the cutting edge on that one a little bit here.
So the other districts don't have 7th graders that as 8th graders will take geometry as their normal course load in middle school?
Minimal, if any, 1 or 2 here and there. I don't have the exact demographics.
But it's
who's
not,
doing it.
it's not the natural course.
No, each year, being at the board meetings, we get 1 or 2 requests for it, that's it.
It's not, it's a very small number even now.
And this,
Here.
the course to get to the geometry 1 here next year in 8th grade, is the only way to do it is to do the summer program,
The Algebra 1.
algebra.
Yes, you need to have successfully completed, because it is a high school course, the same as this biology. You have to have Algebra 1, a full course, and pass it and take the assessments and everything, so that's the only way. Which some of our students did, and then some actually moved here from other places who already had Algebra 1 that make up our 5.
But don't they allow Algebra 1 and Geometry to be taken at the same time as a freshman?
Yes.
So why can't you do that as a big?
So hold on a second, hold on a second. We allow geometry and algebra 2 to be taken at the same time. Algebra 1 is a gateway course for geometry. If there are exceptions to the rule I don't know about for them predominantly, but like a lot of magnet students come in, they're taking geometry and algebra 2 together. Really, I don't know how you can get through geometry without that basic algebra. It's been a few decades since I taught algebra, but I don't think it changed that much with the Common Core.
Right, I would definitely make sure that the Algebra 1 course has to be taken at some point. Let's get that.
Is there a prerequisite for this, for Algebra 1, like
Algebra 1 or the biology?
Algebra 1? Anybody can take it?
Pre-algebra.
Yeah, I mean, we offer pre-algebra here, but that's 6th and 7th grade math is levels of pre-algebra. So your 7th grader now is in a pre-algebra course.
Already.
If they're in the advanced, they're heading to Algebra 1. If they are not in the advanced, then they're heading to the 2nd year of pre-algebra. So it is a pre-algebra course. I mean, that's the typical middle school route. In general, that's what students take, and the fact that they're even taking Algebra 1, a high school course, that's not even required. Students can easily, that's a freshman course. So they will be right on track to take it as a freshman.
So can we recommend anyone who's taken pre-algebra and gets an A and should, so everyone who is in the algebra class and straight A student can go to the summer program, right?
You would have to apply to the summer program, and then if they're a seventh grader, the only thing they would do is contact us to see about a recommendation, basically on their work habits, homework, and so forth. We administer an algebra aptitude test at the end of sixth grade. So that's where, as a sixth grader, at the end of sixth grade, your students last year took an aptitude test to see which track if they were ready for algebra or for pre-algebra. And the interesting thing about algebra is that it doesn't mean that they're not going to develop that and be ready in ninth grade. I mean, there is a lot of research that shows that their middle school mind is not ready for algebra and is ready as a ninth grade, 10th grade, and so forth. So, if they're not ready at this point, it's not something you would have to take to be successful in high school and on. But for this program for biology, they would need to be in it because the math required to do this course is algebra. It's biochemistry, and so they have to have that foundation.
And the Algebra 1 is special fail, or they have to have a certain score?
I'm sorry, a special fee?
A special
They have to
pass
pass.
score? Oh, or special fail?
They do have to pass. I'm not even sure if it's 80% of what the actual passing score is, but they take that final, the high school final at the end of the summer course. The same here is that they would take the course and take the high school final. And then once they pass, that allows them, again, it's similar to the biology, they still have to take the same number of math courses in the high school to graduate. It just lets them place out if they meet the requirements.
How long is the course in the summer?
The course in the summer goes from June 26th or 7th till July 29th-ish, going from 8 o'clock to 1:30 every day except for July 3rd. You eat lunch at your desk because there's no lunch time.
It's here in Valleyview?
It's at Morris Knolls High School.
Morris Knolls.
This time is Morris Hills, right?
No, Morris Knolls.
Morris Hills?
Morris Knolls will be holding the, it's right outside my offices, so it's always at Morris Knolls because I'm always there. So it's at Morris Knolls, it's in the science wing, it's always at Morris Knolls because the science wings are always air conditioned. So, the advantages of having chemicals in your laboratories. So that's why we house it over there, because it's comfortable for the students.
So what was the days per week, days a week again?
About June 26th, 27th, to the last day of July. Monday through Friday, except for July 3rd. There might be another day off they have in that, but I've not seen the final calendar, so the preliminary calendar about a month ago.
In order to get into the math and the science magnet program or the science academy or the Baccalaureate, they have to take a test.
Correct. It depends on which one. So if you go to the Academy for Math, Science, and Engineering, you're going to take the AccuPlacer Elementary Algebra exam through VOTEC. You'll take it through their campus. You'll take that predominantly the first Saturday in December. And I don't remember if they have a writing portion or not anymore. And then there's an interview process that you go through if you're one of the top candidates. I'm on that interview committee actually, along with Mrs. Giordano, who runs the math department at Morris Hills and is the director of the academy. If you are going to the magnet program or the IB program, typically also on the first Saturday in December, you'll take the AccuPlacer exam in elementary algebra. So if you're already applying to MSc, we just use those scores. And then there's an essay that you take as well. It's about soup to nuts, registration, take both exams, have a cookie, go home, 2 hours, like 8:30, 10:30, something like that, 9 to 11. Again, usually the first Saturday in December. And then that week, on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, the child will be interviewing with the committee. And we do all the magnet kids and the IB kids together, along with all the teachers all together, because we're using similar rubrics, but how much each one is worth is different for the IB as the magnet school. So you don't have to read your testing for everything, which is important. Which you have to be able to write science, you have to be able to do everything in the IB program. So it works out pretty nicely.
If your child goes the general education route, do all these magnet children get priority on AP classes?
Nope.
Or how's that?
There is no priority.
Okay.
There's no priority. There would only be a priority if someone needed to graduate. So say there was a senior who didn't take AP Physics yet, and they're in the magnet program, that would be the only person, but usually you take as a junior. Most of the requirements are done, so by senior year, if you need to take another AP course,
So it's usually not an issue, you're saying? It's
Yeah,
not-
I have not had a phone call saying, hey, we need to do something. The worst phone call I got about student magnet program, I said, well, send them to Knowles, they have an AP class that morning, they can do it there.
Well, no, I'm more concerned if my child goes the general route and wants to take AP classes,
Right.
will she be left out by not being
No,
in that?
but my point of telling you that
No.
story though is I didn't bump a regular kid to get my magnet
Got
kid
it,
in there.
got it, okay.
So we wouldn't do that because honestly, no kid's more important than the other. So
What company writes the AccuPlacer exams? Is it Pearson, Hoffman Mifflin?
you'd have to go Google ACCU, ACCU,
Okay.
I think it's Dash Placer, and all that information could be there. Our math department director takes care of that test.
Will you have any presentation about different marks for children so they can decide and get more information?
That's usually in October. We have 2 information nights, one on Morse Knolls, one on Morse Hills. They're about the same. One, I believe, is on October 22nd, the other one, October 15th. It should be on our calendars, which are being developed for next year. It's you know, because it always happens in October. That's how I remember these things. You know, October, usually I open it up and see, oh, my brother's birthday, my son's birthday, oh, information nights. We also have the science night in October, too. But usually around October, it should be, as we're developing the calendars now and getting final board approval on our building calendars, it should become more public, but you know, that information, you need that information now. My best advice is to email me or email Dr. Zola and we'll get you that advice, because we'll be right in front of us for further analysis. Oh, and by the way, I'm Kevin Doyle, so I'm K Doyle, D-O-Y-L-E, K-D-O-Y-L-E, at MHRD for the Morse Hills Regional District.org. Any questions you have, just email me, which is usually the easiest way of getting input.
Yes.
What is the difference between first, like one program versus the other out of these two, out of these 3? Is there advantage one over the other, or like why?
It really is the student. I mean, I think one of the greatest things we have about MHRD and the relationships that we have with the middle schools and preparing kids for the programs that we offer together is that there's something for everybody. I mean, there really is. Even if you don't get into one of the specialty programs and you decide to go general education, there's so many different things that you can do in the high school district. It's truly amazing. The International Baccalaureate program, if Mr. Gambale was here, he runs it. He would say it is you're going to become a master of nothing because you're going to learn about everything. And you're going to examine everything, you're going to explore everything in every subject area. It's rooted in a lot of philosophy, it's rooted in a lot of writing, it's rooted in a lot of reading, it's rooted in a lot of science, it's rooted in a lot of math, it's rooted in a lot of theater, performing arts, etc. It's an all-encompassing, it's like everything, but as he says, it's really nothing because it's everything. The magnet program for math, science, and math and science, which I am the coordinator of, is heavy focus on math and science, but it's not the only focus. We're part of the AP Diploma program, which is brand new worldwide, and it's a focus more on research, whereas the Academy for Math, Science, and Engineering, which is one of the top high schools in the state, is focused math and science, well-rounded in everything as well, but their other focus is engineering. So they're going to do more engineering than they would be in the magnet program, where they're going to do more research, independent research. So it's a good question. The best answer is, you know, we have a lot of programs that can fit a lot of different kids. So really the best program for your child really depends on your child. And we'll be able to answer to say that this program is better than that one. You know, looking at my sons, and we don't live in district, I could see one not wanting to do any of the programs and be happy and be very successful, and one who would probably want to do the math, science, and engineering because he likes to build more than he likes to do research. You know, so it really depends on my kids. And I would say the same thing. I would never say one's better than the other. I'd say they're all different. So there's something for everybody.
The vocational school is on board with all this advanced biology class?
Our final articulation meeting is next Thursday. So the conversations have been started. If not, we will get an immediate something or other. But if not, then we'll be taking academy biology as a junior and ahead of everybody else in that class.
That's the worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, yeah. Their academy biology and our bio honors are very, very similar, except one's junior year and one's freshman year. I don't know if there will be a problem, except for the fact that they want the kids to take their class, but listen, I mean, geometry comes in, and if they place out of geometry, that, you know, that's happened in the past. So, I don't want to say I don't see any hurdles, but I think I have that one mapped.
Maybe a silly question, has this been discussed with any of the seventh graders in their science classes, these options?
That's interesting that you bring that up, because Mrs. Johnson said, Ms. Johnson and I happen to be going in her classroom today, so we did talk to one of her classes, but they have not been talked about, it hasn't been talked about the different courses they would take in high school. We're just, today is the first day we're introducing this program, it's like our rollout day, so they have not even heard except for that one class. But all of the teachers and I in the seventh grade have met, and will have applications in their classroom.
But
to be able
will,
to answer the question.
like I know my son wanted to come to this meeting today. Will they explain, before they hand out the applications and say, here, do you want to do this? Will they go over and tell them, you're going to give up 3 times during your recess? Will they explain in detail what
That
everything?
information will be given. So the information that you see is the same information that they would be sharing with your student that's here. If you're interested in like what all the different high school offerings, that happens in the fall, or next year, yeah, in the fall, when they actually sit down with the high school district and the counselors and they run their informational meetings. We don't run those in seventh grade, they're in eighth grade, but in particular, this particular course, their teachers will have to give the same information that we're giving you. I mean, there's not any additional information to be given. I mean, I say the same thing. That's what I said to her class today. I did tell them, I said, listen, this isn't an advanced eighth grade class, it's a high school course, and it's for these reasons why you might want to take it. It's very challenging reading, you wouldn't be giving up your recesses. I just really want them to be clear that we're not setting them up, getting excited in middle school and wanting to do an advanced course of eighth grade level. It's not. I mean, it's much more challenging than that. This is for that student who really is interested in doing that science.
Can you compare that to what the kids are doing right now with advanced math and ELA? Because that's more rigorous also, so is it going to be much?
Those are advanced classes at their grade level. This is a high school course with a college level. If you didn't get a chance to see the book, it's over here. Compare that to a middle school text and you'll see the difference.
I should have brought one for my middle school text.
You'll see the difference. That's the difference. And the pace that they go at, it's like this. But we have kids that want that, and so we're trying to meet the needs of our variety of students that we have in the school. It is not for every student, but we're trying to meet the needs of the students who are looking for this type of option. Other questions?
For the other courses, they will still mix with the general education students, or they'll be totally separate,
Yes.
all separate?
Mm-hmm.
For science?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
for science, it's not, there's no leveling in science.
But for the other courses, like English language arts,
There is no leveling in science, so English language arts, you could address English and math in terms of leveling in science. It's just a general science that we teach in eighth grade. So students going into this, it's not just a slightly advanced eighth grade curriculum. I'm going to be covering the eighth grade curriculum that is the foundation for what they would be doing in high school in honors biology while teaching them honors biology. So that's why they're giving up the 3 recess periods a week, because we need more time to cover the eighth grade material, lay the foundation, build on top of it to the honors bio, and keep moving that way. So there's going to be opportunities too where they're going to have to do a little bit extra outside. There might be a little bit of flipping of the classroom where I post video tutorials, address the eighth grade issues, they watch it at home, they practice at home, and then the next day we come in and we talk at the high school level, so that we are doing both courses at the same time, because at the end of the year they do have to take the NJ Ask 8 in science, which is the science state test that has been around since around 1999, 1998. So they still have to pass the NJ Ask 8, which covers everything since 4th grade. So they'll be required to take that. It covers physics, earth science, life science, covers the whole gamut. And then I also have to cover what they're going to get in high school, the honors biology. So it's going to be a lot more difficult than just a slightly increased difficulty levels in science. This is going to be high school honors biology. And I had the opportunity to sit in one of the high school honors biology classes just to see pacing so I can compare it to what I did. And it is a rapid pace. It's a very rapid pace. So I'm gonna try to cram in the 8th grade stuff and then supplement it with the high school and address the high school as well. I don't wanna say cram it because I really, my focus is on understanding and content mastery. I want them to know it, I want them to leave knowing it. I don't wanna just rush, okay, now we covered it. I want them to, when they leave, fully understand what we're covering. So, hopefully that addresses your concerns with that.
Is this the first time this class is being offered, or?
This will be the first
So
time.
we don't know how many people would be interested, or?
Today is our rollout day. This is the first rollout day, our first public meeting.
I think that
These will be online today.
That recess is
Recess
gonna
is
be
a
a
hard
hard
sell.
It is. So I would definitely take this home and talk to your children before signing them up, which is why we're having parent meetings. If you have friends that were not here today or other people that missed the information, it will be online. You can see the video, but also they could ask their science teachers. The next meeting is next Thursday night at 6 o'clock here as well. So you can tell them to come to the next meeting and answer some more questions. The applications are due May 20th. So you have a couple of weeks to talk to your children about it because the placement test will be on Thursday, May 21st.
They apply online or they bring the application?
Right here, it's very simple. It's just this piece of paper. Then at that point, once we know which students we're pulling for the testing, that's all we need to really know.
And who
at
did they
this
give
point.
it to?
They can give it to their homeroom teacher, and it's going to be sent to the main office. And we'll collect them all in the main office, and then Sandra Yuzu will get them and get ready for the testing. And we're very excited to offer this course. We're now going to have Algebra 1, Geometry 1, and Biology 1 here. I mean, it's very exciting. But we also want to caution and make sure that, you know, maybe your child's already taking Geometry or Algebra 1, and that's going to be enough for 8th grade. It's not our goal to get every student to take high school courses, but we do recognize the diverse population that we serve here, and we want to give them as many opportunities as we can. Thank you guys for coming. If you have any other questions. Okay.
I'm kind of curious, so for the successful student, obviously we prove an aptitude, and when they go through the interview process with your committee, is there guidance and advising on your part as to which track might be more appropriate for the student as a full person?
No. However, there's, you know, when we really get a child, you know, when they're in school with us for a long period of time as opposed to the test, or even as good as the communication in between the schools, really when they're experiencing culture at Morris Hills and Morris Knolls and they're experiencing the teachers, then we can make better decisions and things like that. And there have been times when we've gone to the kid and say, hey, why are you not in this program? You know, this might be a good fit for you. You know, talk to the kid or child and let them know what their options are. We've never talked the kid out of a program. We don't really believe in that. You know, I think that self-selection, if you can meet the minimum requirements, you know, that has to come from self-selection.
There seems to be distinctions between the three tracks.
Right.
And my presumption is that an engaged student is capable on many different levels. So the fact that they might excel in science and math doesn't preclude the fact that the IB program can enrich them in other ways also.
A few of the IBD students for their capstone project, or what they call it, extended essay, are doing things in physics, which, as for physicists, is interesting. So, but no, we don't know enough about a child to really, you know, we might see it on paper, but there's so much more than just on paper. We're not going to do that before they come to school. And except for the academy, which they have to make their decisions before they apply, because there's 11 different academies and you can only apply to one of them.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of curious as to how a parent would advise their child. Is it more than intuitive?
Go to all the information nights in September,
Because
October.
our beliefs about our children, obviously unrealistic.
Oh, so wait. You have me on TV, I can't answer that. In all honesty, I would go to all the information nights, and if you know somebody who's gone through Denville, who's in one of the programs, or all the programs, I'd ask them, you know, or ask their parents, talk to them, engage your social networks in that, and see how they feel, because they would know better about what your beliefs about your child are too, right? Again, we don't know the people yet to make really good answers or decisions on that.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to find out more, contact us, we'll answer all your questions about that.
All right. Thank you, everyone. The buses are coming.
Oh, they're going to be coming shortly.
Oh, you're here. You're stuck for a few minutes. Thank you all for coming.